Hello and welcome to the Savage Goose, where we talk about all things Savage Worlds in the past week and then go over the main topic like usual. Finally don't have a guest this week. I say finally, I don't know sure exactly why finally. We don't have a guest this week, like we have had the past several weeks, but I got a good topic. We're going to talk about some spooky settings for Savage Worlds for your spooky games this October, if you haven't already done one. But you're only halfway through. You got like half the month still do some fun spooky games. So first, we're going to start with some news. We're going to go ahead and start with the newsletter. Let's go ahead and switch over to that. The first piece of news is it is the final full week for Deadlands, the Abominable Northwest on Kickstarter. Speaking of spooky, look at that spooky, like looks like maybe a zombie cowboy there. So yeah, get some spooky stuff. But it's final full week for Deadlands, the Abominable Northwest Kickstarter. If you have not backed that yet, go and check that out so you can get on top of that. For the Saturday Cinema, the Vorona's Incident on Fantasy Ground is now on Fantasy Grounds and on Steam. Definitely go ahead and check that out. If you're on Fantasy Grounds, I don't use Fantasy Grounds. I don't really use much VTTs at all, if I'm honest. But if you do use the Fantasy Grounds, you can go and check that out. Most of these Savage Saturday Cinemas are also pretty, pretty spooky. So if you're looking for like a nice one shot, check out those one shots as well. I'm actually going to be running one of the other Saturday, the Rites of Spring and Madness for my spooky one shot this October for some friends. So I'm looking forward to writing that. Deadlands has a nice shiny new page the whole Dark Pinnacle site has been probably needing some updates lately, and they are working on updating the site. They're starting out with the Deadlands page, so it's nice to see some things that are changing. This was actually going to be like I was working on a video for I guess January for like things that I want to see for my 2025 wish list, like things I want to see in 2025, and a revamped site was on there. So it's nice to see that that's already kind of happening, where we're revamping the site ahead of my wish list video for 2025. So cool. Moving on from there, the Holler for Savage Worlds. If you want to get that setting, currently they're kind of doing an effort to kind of use proceeds from this. All the core book digital sales are going to help Hurricane Helene relief through Mercy Chefs. So good cause there if you want to get your hands on that book. Looks like Tim Early, who's the creative genius behind Holler, is also doing some other. He's doing a 6-hour endurance run for benefits for Old Fort, North Carolina, for those who lost the homes and businesses to flooding. So any sort of support you want to do there is greatly appreciated. Pinnacle is going to be at Gamehole Con. Gamehole Con is one of the bigger conventions that Pinnacle is at, and specifically in Madison, Wisconsin. I would love to go, but that is definitely not going to be happening. So For all you who are going, have lots of fun. That's happening this weekend. So if you're in the Madison, Wisconsin area, or like can reasonably get there, you can check out GameHoldCon and play some games. Licensee Spotlight, we had these guys on last week from Battlelords of the 23rd Century to talk about Charlie Foxtrot. This is a book of one-shots and adventures of all different varieties inside the Battlelords universe. So if you want to get this book of one-shots for your game, you can get this. Each one-shot inside the book has a bunch of other character sheets, like pre-generated characters for these one-shots. So you don't need to like just insert them into your game. You can actually just run them as one-shots, one-shot games with those pre-gens without having to do any extra work. If you want to know more about that, go ahead and take a look at last week's live stream where we talked to the guys from Battlelords about this product and all the other cool Battlelords products that they have. Swag Spotlight, the Blood-Soaked Girl for Savage Worlds. This is a small case from the City Guard Chronicles. If you watched the show before, you know that I love the City Guard Chronicles. It is one of my favorite series of adventures and one-shots for Savage Worlds. I definitely think I prefer the full-on adventures to the one-sheets, but the one-sheets are also really good. This is the only one I haven't purchased yet, and just because I haven't taken the time yet to go over to DriveThruRPG and purchase it, but I absolutely will be doing that as soon as I remember to go over there and do that. So all the rest of them, though, I own. So I always love Seaguard Chronicles. They're not always that spooky, but Blood-Soaked Girl sounds a little spooky, so maybe it's a little spooky for your games. Okay, let's see here. So I keep seeing people talking about their 20th anniversary celebrations and all the stuff that they've shipped. I'm still waiting to get mine. Although this is order shipped, so now I'm like kind of like nervous. Like, does that mean like they're all shipped? Because I haven't received anything yet. Hopefully, I haven't missed something. But yeah. So US order shipped, international progress. I'm hoping that this means that they just have some shipping still to do, or they're shipping or whatever. But yeah, hopefully I'll get mine soon. Then Night Train will be preparing to ship right afterwards because they already have all that stuff in stock, which is super exciting, especially since I'm getting the whole Deadlands box set on top of the Night Train adventure. So super excited for that. And then everything else is still to come. One other piece of kind of news, so I'm going to switch back over to here. One of the things that there's a kind of news was on Reddit is that the Raven and the Albatross mega bundle. This is a bundle of stuff from the publisher Raven and Albatross, mostly known, I think, for Big Apple Silver Samurai. If someone disagrees with me, that's what they're most well known for. Please let me know. But they are doing a bundle that's linked down below of everything they've made for Big Silver Samurai, for other things they've done, and it's a nice, pretty cheap bundle. I think it's like 40% off. So go check that out. It's a cool bundle. I already own several things from the bundle, so I probably won't be purchasing it. But although you get a discount when you purchase things that are already, I don't know. But there's Big Zero Samurai is one of the most well-known things, so I think you should go check that out. So Kickstarters, Broken Earth ends this week in 2 days. So that ends on Thursday, October 17th. This is the post-apocalyptic game where you're kind of like doing post-apocalyptic survival. If you are interested in this, but you're not quite sure, you can go check out the interview from, I think it's like 2 or 3 weeks ago at this point, where we did talk to Matthew about Broken Earth. The Deadlands, the Night Train, Deadlands, the Abominable Northwest. I'm just talking about the Night Train recently. The Abominable Northwest ends not this Thursday, but next Thursday, October 24th. And then not this Sunday, but the next Sunday, or actually not next Sunday. Not this Sunday, but the next Sunday ends the Starbreaker Saints and Sinners Kickstarter. That's October 27th. Nice, really fun Kickstarter. And then the Battlelords Kickstarter ends on Thursday, October 31st. So lots of Kickstarters going on in the Savage Worlds community. Go ahead and go check out all of those. And check them all out. But also, if you choose the ones that you're actually going to play, maybe. I don't know. Let's see here. So into our main topic for this week, I just want to talk about some spooky settings. I didn't have like anything really big I wanted to talk about. So I thought, you know what, it's October. I want to talk about some spooky settings. Just make sure people are aware of certain settings, certain ones I really enjoy, kind of just talk about them. And I would love to hear you guys' feedback on what settings you really think are like nice and spooky for running games this this October. So the first one, though, is a little bit of a cheat. You can probably imagine what it is. It's Deadlands. Deadlands is, if you don't know, Deadlands is pretty much the game for Savage Worlds at this point. It is kind of the game sort of that started it all back in 96, 95. But it is, as you can see, you got a skulled man wielding a pistol on a horse with glowing eyes. There's a lot of spooky stuff in Deadlands. There are, there's undead, there are vampires, there are werewolves, there are all manner of different things in Deadlands in the Weird West. All sorts of weird things, crazy or not. And it's a really good game for running Savage Worlds, or running a spooky Savage Worlds game. So really good setting for that. And when I say Deadlands, though, I was not just thinking the Weird West. And I'm going to kind of cheat here when I say one of my 5 is Deadlands, because when it comes to Deadlands, there's multiple settings really inside. It's all like one setting, but there's really kind of multiple sub-settings in a sense, and they're all pretty spooky. So Deadlands is only one of the 5, but Deadlands also includes things like Lost Colony, which is a kind of more space exploration, but also a little bit of space horror game. You can definitely do some horror stuff inside of Lost Colony, but that also includes Hell on Earth, where, from my understanding, it's a more apocalyptic Deadlands, where you can, you got more, post-apocalyptic stuff. You've got Dark Ages, which is not out yet, but will be. So you got a little bit of a fantasy horror game with Deadlands Dark Ages. Deadlands really does portray itself more as like a fear, a lot of more fear games, a lot of more horror, and definitely pushes itself in that way. Now it's still heroic. There's still a lot of you're fighting and you're being heroes, and most of these games are somewhat heroic. But I think Deadlands specifically kind of puts you more on the front edge where you're facing off against things, but rather than kind of like running away constantly from things. So you're more, I think, in control and can fight. But I think there's also plenty of opportunities where you're not, and there's definitely some scary stuff out there. Tyler says, champing at the bit for Dark Ages. I have been championing the bit for Dark Ages since they first showed Sins of the Fathers. I think when they released SWADE, because we got a whole bunch of bundles, a bunch of like adventures like Sins of the Fathers, and just kind of waiting for that. One of the ones I did not mention was Deadlands Noir, just because I don't know how much horror is in Deadlands Noir. But Deadlands Noir flows into the Cthulhu very well. So if you want to do more Cthulhu-esque games, Deadlands Noir might be up your alley. I would have loved to have added in like Acton Cthulhu, but that is no longer available. And I've known for a while hasn't been available, because I've been very annoyed that I can't go onto the site and get it. The site being DriveThruRPG. So that's a little annoying. But anyways, so that's in the Fathers. That's all Deadlands. That's all the first. The first one that I want to mention. Again, if you guys have any thoughts on these, please leave them in the comments, or any other settings you think are really good. And we are starting off some Pinnacle settings, but I want to rush it. The last 2 are going to be non-Pinnacle settings, so just kind of wait for that. The next one is East Texas University, and this one is the only one I actually have a physical copy of. I have all of these in PDF, but this one I actually have. Where is it? This is the plot point campaign, Degrees of Horror, which it literally is called Degrees of Horror. So what this game is I think if you've watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that's kind of a little bit of the vibe you're going for, except for you're not necessarily the Vampire Slayer. You're playing college students who are running into supernatural things, and you're trying to stop things from happening to your friends. You're maybe casting rituals to prevent evil spirits from coming into this world. All sorts of like other spooky things. There's magic, but not in the way that like you use magic in other games. All the magic there is done through rituals. So you're going to, you're not going to be able to be like a super powered, powered up person. You're basically a college student, and you have college problems. You got courses you need to complete. You got to take exams, all the while fighting off monsters and ghouls and all that other kind of thing. Now, this is something to kind of want to let you guys know about, is that this is the deluxe edition. This was made for deluxe edition, not for adventure edition. They are working on a adventure edition that's been kind of public knowledge through the East Texas University Facebook group for quite some time. So if you're waiting for that, I don't know when it's coming. I have no idea when that's happening, but I know they are working on it. So yeah, look forward to that. Yeah, Hampshire Dune says it's so good. ETU 2 is on the quote soon schedule, whatever that is. They're definitely working on it. I just don't know when exactly that's happening. Peter Sloom asks, is Sins of the Fathers a one shot or multiple sessions? I've ran as a one shot. I think it's definitely a one shot game, and it has got pre-generated characters. I think there's like, I want to say 6 pre-generated characters, maybe more, maybe less. I think it's at least 6 pre-generated characters for that game. I ran it once several years ago at this point, probably before pandemic. Actually, it's probably like 2019 or something. Kind of going to show how long we've been waiting for for Dark Ages to come out. But yeah, it is there. Yeah, Tyler's correct. One of them has a cult peacemaker. Yeah, it takes place in the medieval era, and one of the characters has the cult that is given to them by Merlin, and Merlin teaches them how to make bullets. So yeah, that's going to be it's going to be fun whenever it comes out. I'm looking forward to it, and it's like kind of like, where is it? So in the second one, East Texas University, play as college students. The one nice thing about this is that because you're playing as college students, you are playing people who are kind of like more on the like you're scared type thing, where you're not as in control. You're going to be stopping things, and you're maybe fighting some things, but it's definitely going to be like you're not going to be wearing armor because you're college students. That's not, you don't go around wearing armor. You may not have weapons, or you may have to do a better job concealing your weapons. There's more real life consequences to things in ETU for kind of just going blatantly chopping down someone's dorm room door or something like that. So it's a lot more it's a lot more like a little bit more laid back, where we're going to have more danger. The third one I wanted to mention is Rippers Resurrected. I played through about half of the one campaign. I don't remember. Some players were just not quite jiving with it, but I really enjoyed this setting. Rippers is a setting where it is a monster hunter setting. It takes place in the Victorian era, where you are playing as these heroes who are going around and you're fighting monsters around the world to stop people from knowing that monsters exist, and 2, to take their body part, their body parts, and kind of incorporate them yourself to make you stronger. But that also can add like some levels of madness. You don't have to do that, people. So it's kind of like an optional thing. But the main thing that you're doing is you're fighting monsters, and you're stopping monsters from involving themselves in regular life, and stopping people from like knowing about them and saving them from them. But very much Victorian horror, behind the scenes, kind of like Victorian horror vigilantes in a sense. Very fun game. Very much horror based. Okay, so that's the 3 pinnacle games. Again, this is more heroic. I did want to mention 2 non-pinnacle games. And the first one I did not realize for some reason is no longer available on DriveThruRPG. So I did want to ahead of time say I apologize. I did not realize when I first created this list that it was no longer available. I'm not sure if it's a recent thing or what, but I have the book, so sorry. I have it though. It does seem like, I think I saw that it was available on Amazon. Make sure that's accurate. Pretty sure it was. Keeping you guys all on your toes because I haven't told you what it is yet. Yes, it is. It is on sort of on Amazon. So I'll link. I'll put a link down in the chat. But the next one I want to mention was Accursed. Now, so let me go ahead and just put that link in. I don't know if that worked. Sorry about this, guys. Here, this is an affiliate link, so just because that's easier way to get a small close click link. But Accursed is a game where you all play essentially as the monsters. There's a bunch of witches that kind of invade this area and they kind of take over, and you play as some either monsters that like vampires or ghouls or things that are not under their control, and you're able to kind of fight back against these witches that have kind of taken over. Now, why would you do that? Well, because you're heroes. You still don't think that's right, and now you're not going to be accepted by the villages, the people who are being like kind of subjected to the witches' control, not control, but also like to their will. You're not going to be accepted by them. You're still monsters, but you're still trying to fight against the witches to kind of bring back, fight against them. So you get this like people don't like you, but also you're trying to help them. So it's a really fun game. I was reading through it off my PDF copy, and I was like, oh wow, this is really cool. I'm really enjoying it. Would love to run this. I think it's a great setting, a really cool setting, and a really good setting, I think, for that kind of horror spooky vibe. But you're putting yourselves in the place of these monster heroes. In the horror companion, yeah, here we go. In the horror companion, there's actually a section about kind of making your own monstrous heroes, monstrous characters, I should say, and you can definitely use that kind of for Accursed. So yeah. Sorry, I was trying to read through the comments, make sure I'm not missing anything. Tower Char says, I have all the books and would love it if someone ran it. I'm hoping you're talking about not this, but Accursed. Yeah, I would love to play on Accursed for sure. All right, and then the last one, I originally titled this 5 horror games, and I realized the last one is not horror. It's not. It's maybe spooky, because it's definitely lighthearted spooky. Because I some people don't want to do heavy spook, right? They don't want to do heavy horror, heavy scared. They want to do something a little more fun, a little more lighthearted. And when I think of like spooky stuff, but also lighthearted, but not like actually that scary, but still has that like a little bit of a scary vibe, I think of Scooby-Doo. And well, we have this like in those kind of shows in Scooby-Doo. There was a more recent setting called Sleuth Squad, mystery solving teens, where you play as teenagers going around and solving mysteries. It's usually around some sort of monster or something. If you kind of a la old, not old, but old and new Scooby-Doo TV shows. So I think that if you guys are wanting to kind of find a good game, it's going to be fun kind of fun to play, a little bit spooky, even with children, and not getting too dark or too gritty or too gory, violent, or whatever. This is going to be a great game to kind of play at your table with kids, with people who don't want to get into that level of spook, but still enjoy something that's still in the spirit of Spooktober. So yeah, those are the 5. There's also a lot of other like adventures for Sleuth Squad, and there's also a solo how to play Sleuth Squad solo. So if you want to look out for those products as well, all these should be down below. And if you guys have any, if you guys want to check any of these out, you can go ahead and do that. But yeah, I think Sleuth Squad looks like a lot of fun. I think I had something else I was going to say there, but I can't remember what it was. Did I mention Pine Box Middle School? I did not. I was trying to. I did mention East University. I thought about mentioning Pine Box Middle School because here's the thing: a lot of Pinnacle's settings are geared towards some level of spooky. There's some that are not, but there's definitely a lot that are. And Pine Box Middle School was just the one that didn't quite make the list, and I haven't actually. That's the one I don't own at all yet currently. I do plan on buying it because I love kids on bike games, or shows, or I like Super 8. I like the idea of kids on bikes. I like Super 8. I like Stranger Things, and I like that just the idea of being kids riding around the neighborhood in like the 80s and finding out about monsters, but we can't tell mom and dad because one, we were out late, so we don't want to get in trouble, and 2, they wouldn't believe us anyways. So I think that would be a really fun game for Spooktober. So Pine Box Middle School is definitely a good one for that as well. Specifically, looks like Captain Doom recommends The Curse of Wilson's Quarry, which I guess I'm guessing is a particular adventure for Pine Box Middle School. So, take a look at that. Yeah, I definitely want to get the Pine Box Middle School game because eventually I just gotta attain the funds, and then definitely get I probably want to get the box set, not just the book, because there's a bunch of good goodies in there. But at the very least, at some point, I want to at least get the book to add to my collection of stuff up here. So, okay. All right, looks like just kind of looking through. Looks like there's maybe some people going to. I'm just looking through some of the earlier comments and seeing what I might have missed. Peter Saloom says, I'm getting ready to play in a Night of the Living Dolls Halloween game next week. Is that in like a modern day setting, or is that like a normal, like just like a what's the setting? Is it like a particular setting, or is it just like kind of like generic horror, modern day horror setting or something like that? Let's see here. Yeah, cool. That it's an adventure from Just Insert Imagination. You play as the dolls. Oh, interesting. Okay. Man, this is the thing about Savage Worlds. So there's just so many, gosh darn good adventures out there, and it's sometimes impossible to keep track of. So this was Night of the Living Dolls. For SWADE from Just Insert Imagination. Nice. All right. So for those of you who are looking for it, there you go. You have 5 pre-generated characters. You play as the dolls, which are dolls that are smaller than a pug. Oh, interesting. Nope, definitely a spooky, definitely a spooky game. That's perfect. Hapsheem says, "Ooh, that one is good. I like Just Insert stuff. Wise Guys is a really good book. Yeah, I got the Wise Guys. I have Wise Guys. Again, the PDF. I need to get. I need at some point to get the physical book. I don't know if I ever got. I think at some point I was getting like the print on demand coupon code, but I don't think I ever used it. So I'll have to see if I still have access to that. All right, cool. Well, I know this was a little bit shorter this week. I just kind of wanted to mention a few things. Just about some good settings for this. I think next time I'll probably try to get like some 5 like next year. Try to think of some like 5 good one shots. So hopefully I'll get a lot of one shots in this year. I'm planning on trying to start running one shot a month for my friends, in addition to my 2 regular games, just so that I can get some other settings in. Try to get some other adventures in, because there's just so many really good adventures out there. A lot of these are just so many different good games out there. The other thing I wanted to mention, mention real quick for the channel. Some of the things I'm going to try to start doing a little bit differently. One, we have super chats turned on. I'm thinking about maybe trying to do. I haven't fully decided this. I kind of mentioned it before, but I'm thinking about doing some sort of live play or live actual play of me doing solo play. I want to get a little bit better at solo play before I actually do that, though. So give me some time there. But then I'm hoping to maybe do some sort of interaction through the chat about, maybe like giving like bennies or something through the actual play of the actual solo play. So give me some of that. Give me some thoughts on that. I have also done memberships. I turn on memberships for the channel. Currently, there's just one level just for people who just want to help support the channel. Try and get me other. Basically, I'm just going to use that to try to get more books, so we can. And I need to start doing some reviews. So I'm going to read through some books and try to get that online for you all, to try to get some reviews of other things out there. The last thing I'm going to start doing, talking to a few people recently in order to try to help people know about not just Pinnacle products, but also other licensee and Adventurers Guild products that are out there. I'm going to try to start doing once a week for any of the publisher interviews. Like whenever I'm not interviewing a publisher for one of those things, trying to highlight a particular Savage Worlds licensee setting or a Adventurers Guild setting. Just trying to so people know about all the different cool settings that are out there for their games. So looking forward to that. And that is all. I appreciate everyone's time tonight. Again, I know it was a little bit shorter, but I hope I let you guys all enjoy your night and try to get some spooky games in this month. Cheers, everyone.